Well, let's get this show on the road. It's already after 6 AZ time, 7 on New Mexico time. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. This is day number 5 out of 6 days of our Southwest District Club Leadership Education Training for 2021-22. We've been, as Ken said earlier, we've had some very good attendance since Monday for the presidents, and then Tuesday for the secretary training. Wednesday we had the treasury training. Last night was Governor Don speaking about conflict resolution, and then tonight we're going to be going over our club membership chairs. So without further ado, before we begin, I'd like to hand it over to our district executive director Ken Garley, so that he can go over what we have coming up with the next few minutes. So Ken, go ahead.
All right, so I guess we're going to chat real quick again one more time about the new member fees that are going to begin. If I get my computer to work here or not. There we go. We're going to get our new member dues that are going to begin October 1st, and they are going to be prorated. They only affect our Kiwanis International and our Southwest District new member fees. Change does not affect any of your local club fees. And the example I've been using is, like my club charges a $25 new member fee for pins and hats, and that's not going to affect them. We still continue to do that. Modification only affects new member fees. Right now, currently, new member fees are $50 to Kiwanis International and $15 to the Southwest District for a grand total of 65 buckaroonies. So somebody who would be joining today would pay $65 plus local club fees. But beginning October 1st, 2021, new members going to pay Kiwanis International and the Southwest District fees on a prorated schedule. Your local club fees do still remain the same. You can prorate them if you wish. You don't have to prorate them. It works for you. As everybody knows, just as a reminder, our Kiwanis year runs from October 1st through September 30th. And October 1st, we all owe $117 in member fees. $52 of that is Kiwanis International. $17 is for insurance and the magazine. $40 goes to the Southwest District. And again, your local club fees are in addition to the Kiwanis International and the Southwest District fees. Beginning October 1st, 2021, new member fees will be based on the month that they join. So if a member joins in October, they're going to pay 12/12 of the yearly membership fee, or 117 bucks. Let's say they join in November, they're going to pay 11/12, and that comes to $107.25. December, 10/12. I bet you noticed the pattern here, and that comes to $97.50. They join now in June, they're down to 4/12 of the $117, or today they would join and pay only $39. Let's say they join in September, they're going to owe 1/12 of the member fee, or $9.75. Don't forget, this only affects Kiwanis International and the Southwest District member fee. Local club fees remain at the discretion of the club board. Clubs will continue to be billed by Kiwanis International. Membership fees have to be paid by November 30th. New member fees are due within 30 days after they are entered into the dashboard. Our classes tomorrow, our CLE class tomorrow will be from 9 a.m. Arizona, 10 a.m. New Mexico. All will be live trainers. All the live trainers will be back. I will have a breakout room if you want to discuss this proration, questions, comments, whatever. Be more than happy to answer those. You guys all know my email and phone number, I believe. A little bit of housekeeping is if you want to receive credit for tonight, please type your name into the chat box so that we know that you're attended. And while Tony is speaking, Governor-elect Tony is speaking, please mute your microphone so as to eliminate background noise and interference to your fellow Kiwanians. And with that, we're going to go back to Governor-elect Tony, I got it right 2 days in a row. I called you by the right name.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. Well, we will get started then, right into our presentation. And so let me go ahead and hit my share screen. And here we are. Does everybody see this?
You bet.
Okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Tony Gutowski, and I am the governor-elect for the Southwest District for the year 2021-22. And I'm also been on the membership committee since 2015. So we have been all working together for actually bringing in more members, and that's what this is going to be about. We have a PowerPoint here that is how we're going to open the front door and keep that back door closed. So as we begin tonight, what we are going to go over is we're going to touch on things that you may or may not know and hope we end up with a few takeaways. Today, we're going to go over our membership chair, pulse check, member ready. What does that mean? New member orientation, mentorship, exit interview, and questions and feedback. Now, if you have questions or anything, I'll put those in the chat feature, and Ken will be keeping an eye on it so we can respond to your inquiries. Or if you want to ask a question while I'm, going along, that's fine too. And we're also going to make sure that we get feedback from everybody. So we'll also have question and answer at the end. So this is interactive and we'll just work together on it. So we'll go to the next slide. And is your club member ready? After finalizing a member survey or working through any areas of opportunity and believe your club is ready to open to guests and potential new members, your club might be member ready. I tend to gauge this picture of my son or daughter or grandchild going to the very first Kiwanis meeting. How do you feel? Did you feel welcome? Were they engaged? Will they join? Will they remain a member? What will be their takeaways? So before hosting any membership event, make sure that your club is member ready. So please note that some things will be out of your control, but those items in your control, like reevaluate some of the items that you have at hand, like say cost of attending a meeting, between the meal, happy dollars, general donations around the table. Is it too expensive or perceived too expensive by some of the members? So what you want to do as a membership chair, and you haven't guessed yet, it's one of the most important club committees there is. You'll work with everyone in your club to make their experience enjoyable and attractive to prospective members. Your main goal is to keep your club healthy and strong. You are the face and voice for membership activities in your club. Your committee will work diligently to invite new members, engage existing members, and increase the visibility of your club in your community. One person should not do this alone. Each membership chair needs a committee willing to help and take on the duties and tasks for their club. The chair's name and email address is an item that needs to be reported by the secretary on their dashboard. By doing so, the membership chair will then receive helpful emails from our district and international regarding membership tactics and topics and everything else. So we want to make sure that every club has a membership chair and it's all listed so that they can get the proper resources. To assist the membership chair with ensuring the club members are enjoying their club experience and feeling engaged, the chair should call upon a few fellow members to assist them with this committee. And I'm a firm believer in committees. We need committees to do everything. You can't do it solo. So what are the qualifications? Well, they're simple. You need to be passionate about Kiwanis, understand the importance of inviting new members and retaining current members, understand the membership programs, communicates effectively, encourages and motivates other team members, is organized, focuses on innovation, shows sound judgment, stays positive, enthusiastic, and diplomatic, and well-connected in the community, or at least willing to do so. In other words, it sounds like I'm just saying this is the perfect Kiwani and that we need to do this. But in all honesty, everybody that's on this meeting tonight is that Kiwanian. All of you, if you're here tonight, you all follow under those type of requirements. Now, just for, what we want to do is we want to hear from you. And I'd like to hear from a few of you all, just in one sentence, and just sort of tell us, what's the number one reason a person would want to join your club? What does your club do? And what's it known in the community? So if you were to go ahead and talk to somebody and ask them, and talk about your club, what would you say in one sentence to get someone to join? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody?
We have fun.
Okay.
Sure, you have an opportunity to help for like all the kids here in the area, which is extremely important. We have a lot of poverty here, and it's a wonderful way to help out.
Great. Anyone else?
We want to help children.
Perfect. We never want to lose that thought that kids need Kiwanis, especially now more than ever. So, community service, fundraisers, that, your signature project, you want to bring that up to everybody. They're both important. Community service and fundraisers, they're both. You need one to do the other. I remember years ago, I was, told that we don't want to hear about your, fundraisers. We want to hear about your community service. Well, personally, maybe I follow the beat of a different drummer, but I've seen members work their tail off at community fundraisers so that we can have the proper funding for our service projects. So they both go hand in hand. We do auctions, we do pancake breakfast, steak fries, raffles, and without proper funding, we can't go ahead and do, help the kids with school literacy, reading to them, or finance or SLPs or anything. So if they know about, if you do a certain fundraise, like you have a pancake breakfast that everybody looks forward to, promote that. Tell them to come on down. Come to some of your projects like that. Your fundraisers are, to me, a service not quite the service project, but it helps and it gets you promoted and it gets people involved. So make sure that you try to do all of that also. Now, measuring a member satisfaction. Okay. One of the first and main tasks of a membership committee is to use the membership satisfaction survey with their members. I think you've all seen this. This is very important to use. Okay. So remember on the agenda, I said pulse check. This is the best way I've seen to take the pulse check of your club. Now, just a short story here. In the Pacific Northwest District, the education chair asked the president of a club if she could come in and facilitate a membership satisfaction survey. He said, no, this club was awesome and perfect and all that. So she kept after him until he finally said yes, just to get her off her back. So she facilitated the survey, downloaded the results, wrote her report, and when she came to the club to deliver the results, the president was clearly surprised. There was nothing alarming or nothing to be dismayed about, but there were clearly 2 to 3 items that could be improved. In good step, he formed a committee to tackle each item, had them report back in 3 weeks, and I'm not sure who was more elated about the entire process, the club members or the president. So if you walk away with one takeaway from this short story, is that the survey finds areas of opportunity. You must follow through it and seek the results. It's very important to check the pulse of your club before any new member recruiting is performed. It is.
Tony?
Go
I
ahead.
have a question. Um, how do you get members to respond to that survey? Because that's one of the problems that we've had. We sent the survey out to everybody. It was easy enough for them to be able to download it and check off the boxes and then send it back. But interestingly, most of the people who sent it back were the people who were new members. Older members must have decided, been there, done that, don't need to do this. How do you motivate the rest of them to do that?
Well, a lot of times what's been working and is to have an outside person, conduct the survey and bring it up to everybody. Like say maybe your lieutenant governor or somebody from the membership, from the Southwest District Membership Committee could do this. And we get together and sometimes with somebody from the outside, they will be more open to be more honest because they're afraid to fill anything out or do something for fear that, they're going to say something that's going to be incriminating towards them. So that's why it's good to maybe get the lieutenant governor involved in this survey and have them be the one, because they can unbiasedly look at something and say, hey, this is what you need to do. And seriously, with somebody outside at the club, they sometimes listen to them a little bit more,
Thank you.
So that would be my suggestion. And I think it
Thanks.
would be a great way for the lieutenant governors to know the club also. So I think it's a win-win situation. But, that's an idea that I think would be great, but, to have somebody from the outside and that way they can do, the improvement. So if it were me, that's who I would get. And I know that's what some of the other districts are doing, and they're finding out it is working and they're being able to implement it because the other clubs and other districts have had the same situation that you're falling into. So good question. Thank you.
Mhm.
So, but as I said, with a third party, a neutral party to do this, that is great. And that's the way to go ahead and conduct it all. So in regards to the membership satisfaction survey, please remember to take for this takeaway. One of the most important duties for the membership satisfaction survey is to choose 2 to 3 issues, assign the issues to a subcommittee and act on them. If you don't act off the survey of what your findings are and follow through on the outcome, there's going to be lack of involvement the next time you ask for it. So you have to follow through and do everything that you said you were going to do. Otherwise, you will not get participation.
Thanks.
Hey, Governor-elect Tony, Lori has a question for you. She wants to know where you can find the survey.
It is, I got on Kiwanis.1, Kiwanis1.org. And then what was it, Ken? Was it going on to the membership / or I did membership resources is how I got onto it, I believe.
Right, it's under membership resources. I will post it in the chat box in just a moment for you.
Okay. But yeah, you can get that printed out, send it to everybody. It really is, it's a fantastic piece. And as I say, having a third party doing it or conducting it, bringing it to your club, that is even better yet. Okay, we'll go on to our next slide. Being part of being member ready is to ensure that all your club members have the elevator speech ready at a moment's notice. Have you ever been caught flat-footed saying in a grocery store at a checkout line and someone notices the Kiwanis pin on your collar and asks, what is Kiwanis? Well, you stand there and you're flat-footed, you don't know what to say. Well, that was me about, 6-7 years ago. It's like, So then, what you want to do is create that elevator speech. And what it should be is, be included in your elevator speech is 3 things, really. I mean, why my club? What's our community, the impact, and how we do it? Make it personal, make it mean something from the heart. This will make it easier to recall and share. And you also want to make sure that you have, your club website up to date and have a Facebook account. That's a big thing, when you can say that right away, that helps your elevator speech and gives it some credibility when you go, if you have that to add on to it, because in today's age, that's what everybody goes to right away. But now here's an example of an elevator speech. Kiwanis helps kids around the world. Local clubs look for ways to have impact in their communities, while Kiwanis International takes on a large scale challenges such as diseases and poverty. We're generous with our time. We are creative with our ideas. We are passionate about making a difference, and we have fun along the way. Well, all that is true. It's rather boring. You know, you're not telling them what you do. So you want to make sure that you have a high level speech for them all and make it personal. And so, like about your club, your community, your impact in that community, only takes about 30 seconds to tell them. That's their, that's the span it only takes. So you want to make sure that, you speak from the heart. And if you tell them your personal activities and the things that you do, it's a lot easier to recall and to share for your next opportunity. BK, I see your hand is up.
I have one comment.
Yes,
and
sir.
it's simple. If you give the right presentation, there will be a follow-up question. If you gave the slide you just had, there would be no question. So you are 100% right. It's got to be about you, your experience. Keep it short and make them want to ask a follow-up question.
Very good. I couldn't agree with you more, BK. Now, new member orientation. Fast forward. Your club completed their membership satisfaction survey. Their pulse is doing well. Their elevator speech is ready to go and even worked. Now you have a couple of new members voted into your club. The new member orientation is very important to ensure that new member knows what they're getting into. They may decide this isn't what they signed up for, or it confirms their decision to be an active member for their new club. But the new member orientation is presented with the sponsoring Kiwanian, the new member, and club leadership. But all in all, if the sponsoring Kiwanian can do it, that's the way to do it because they already have a rapport. But sometimes we get club members without a sponsor. So that's where the membership team comes through. And they're involved with the new membership or new member orientation. So basically, the new member is orientation is best, ensures that the new member understands the service of the organization they're joining, the expectations of the club, cost of the membership, district and international service projects, and other Kiwanis projects. And it's advisable to ask the new member to choose a committee they wish to serve with when they do. Notify the chair committee and ask the chair to perform and welcome them with a call to the membership. The new member needs to feel welcome and wanted. So the success of the new member is to get them busy, get them engaged as soon as possible, and keep them engaged. So that's the secret to it all.
Tony, this is Jerry. Can I ask a
Yeah,
question?
Jerry.
Okay, when you're looking at orientation, is it better to do the orientation away from the club or as a specific club function? And should more than one person be involved in an orientation?
Well, that would be the call in the certain situation. I do know some clubs will go ahead and do a new member or orientation before they even sign up. They'll go out to a coffee shop, have a coffee, explain everything, and then do it there. And some clubs will go ahead, have the new member come in, and they'll take the time either after the meeting or somewhere, but it's usually in a secluded spot, and they'll go over it. The more people involved, the better. So that's what the membership chair and the committee that the chair oversees. It's best to have the whole committee in on it. And that way it makes them feel all involved, everybody, all for one, one for all. So it's all up to the situation.
I have
Thank
another
you.
question.
Yes.
You're gonna have a lot of questions from me because I'm that kind of person. Okay, my question is it therefore helpful and advisable so that for the members of the membership committee, as well as for all of the members, to be able to have some kind of written outline of some sort or another, some kind of a little packet of some kind, to then be able to bring with you when you meet with that new person, because that way they're not going to forget things, and it might be, a list of all of the activities that the club does and so on. Is that something that is a good thing to have available?
That's an excellent idea. And I think each club could have a personalized part in that. So, I mean, we all know what Kiwanis is about. We all know we're here for the children, and we can talk about the SLPs. We can talk about how the division works, how the district works, how KI works. But basically, you know best how your own personal club works. So it would be great for the committee to have a list and an outline to be able to cover. That makes great sense.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tony?
Yes.
Yeah. There is, on Kiwanis.org, there is a PowerPoint presentation that you can adapt to your club. And so if you're looking for an outline, that is a great one to use. There's spaces in there where you can adapt it, put your club's information in there, and it'll give you a guideline to go through when you're sitting and doing orientation with somebody.
How do we get that?
That's fantastic. Ken, could you find that, be able to let our audience know how to get to that?
Yes, I'll post that for you in just a moment.
Okay. Thank you, Clint. Very good.
Part of orientation should be going through Kiwanis.org and showing them how to navigate it.
Fantastic. Well, when we start a new member off on the right foot within the club, make their induction special. One option would be to invite the lieutenant governor to perform the ceremony. Ensure the sponsoring Kiwanian is recognized for recruiting the efforts and give the new member time to brag about his family or job. In other words, make it a big deal, because it is a big deal. Now, we're bringing in members, and are we going ahead and making them feel like they're really part of something? And this is what we want to make sure. They have you pin them. Now, the president normally pins them, or if you can get the lieutenant governor to come in to pin them, but make it a big deal and make it about the new member. Make them feel welcome, and make them have fun. Everybody should have fun while we're doing this. So that's one thing we want to do, is not just get a new member and say, okay, someone makes we got a new member here. Charlie over here is our new member, and that's it. And they all wave to him and say, okay, great. No, let's pin them. Let's make it, the pomp and circumstance. Let's do it. Let's make a big thing about it. Mentorship. Assigning the sponsor or a mentor to a new member. The mentor will ensure that the new member is satisfied with their decision to join, that they're engaged, and they are present with the club in its service projects, both physically and mentally. By doing so, you can increase the chances of the member will remain active in the club, and in turn, increase their chances to remain active for the coming year. Remember, your first few meetings as a Kiwanis, were you a little lost? You wonder, why did they sing? I don't understand this and all this. Did anybody, let them know that? So you want to make sure that they're engaged and they're happy, and, they have a good Kiwanis story to share with their friends so that you can recruit more. Remember, if a new member has no sponsor, then it's up to the committee member or the membership chair team to become the mentor. So every new member should have a mentor, and whether who it is, the sponsor or one person from the committee. This is something we hope won't happen. A member has submitted their resignation. They're leaving the club. Ask the exiting member who is leaving to complete a membership exit interview. Now, this is something a little different, but once the interviews are compiled, are there commonalities between the results? If so, is there something the club can begin to work on to close that back door, but not only close it, but to lock it shut? and forever and put away the key. In other words, create an exit survey with multiple choice answers. Make it short and to the point. Ask about the club meetings, the service, the finance, the organization, a whole list of questions that could be, have a scale of 1 to 5 with the rating as a 5. Make it quick and easy. This is not an investigation. It's just a quick survey. So don't make it feel uncomfortable, but you just want to know, why are they leaving? Because it could be something that you have no idea about or the club knows. And we can't afford to keep losing people out the back way. We need to find out why. And this slide's so true. Kids need you. We're perhaps down the block, nearby the schoolyard, next town over, somewhere a kid needs you. Are you ready to improve their lives and yours? Be the person you needed when you were young. There should never be a hesitation when someone to walk up and ask you, what does Kiwanis do? You should always know that. Never forget the reason why Kiwanis is here. We're here for the kids. That should be the first thing coming right out of your mouth. A roster analysis is another way of finding out about your club and, the pulse of it. Why is the membership roster important? Well, rather than ask your general membership, who should we ask to join Kiwanis, perhaps state which occupations are represented in our club. Narrow down your prospect list with the occupations that are missing. Or perhaps it's a matter of only 2 or 3 banks are represented within your city, and your city has about a dozen banks and credit unions. You can keep on asking the same occupation. The member roster will help you hone into your next prospect list. So to me, the definition of networking is not just promoting your business, but creating your own network of service-oriented clubs and people. So networking is really big. Partnering is big. You want to be able to partner. You want to be able to see other people like, say, Boys and Girls Club, Salvation Army, all these other ones. Get together, be able to find out how you can go ahead and network to get more members. And rediscovering your community. A community survey, which we also have. Now that helps clubs gather the data about what the community needs from people who care. They also help to identify how the club might partner with others to address those needs and strengthen relationships with other community leaders. Remember, I talked about networking. Rediscovering your community is a step-by-step tool which will lead you through the survey process. Along the way, it's going to reveal information about your club's service impact, partnerships and opportunities, possibilities for expansion. You schedule this survey annually or at any time the club has experienced significant changes in the membership or service interests. So there has been nothing that's been turned us upside down or changed since the pandemic has done that. And as we're coming out of it, we need to do a community survey because things have changed. Wants and needs of the community has changed. It's been turned upside down. We're just starting to get back to normal. Let's see what we can do. Things we were doing 2 years ago might not be as effective as what is needed today. So we do have to really reevaluate everything.
Tony,
Yes.
me again.
Okay.
Okay, if we have that, those questions, rediscovering out your community, to whom do we post those questions? Who do we ask those questions?
Well, you're going to want to get out into the community. So you're going to want to ask, people within the community of other franchises of, say there's a food bank, you might want to talk to them. What are their needs? You could talk to Boys and Girls Club or what, find out what their needs are. See, what the kids need. Go to the schools. That's especially, find out what the schools need right now. Is there anybody else that can come up with some ideas out there of who to talk to?
You want to connect with the mayor or the town council or the governmental entity, because they'll give you a big answer.
Very good, Barbara.
your recreational groups in within the town, what they're doing and what events they're planning that you could tag along with.
Excellent, Jerry.
What about the police people?
Mhm.
Sure. They'll definitely know. I mean, if you start looking through and go through the whole list, I mean, there's dozens of places and people that you can be contacting to talk about and find out what does the community need now. Because as I said, the needs have changed. So once you review your roster analysis for gaps in your current membership, you want to create some contact lists, identify team members, schedule and conduct interviews, and have a tool for a script for open-ended questions to ask. Then you're going to want to hold an open house and highlight your current service projects and do a follow-up. You want to induct and make it special. You want to assign mentors. And if you sit down and write all the service projects of how many lives your club has touched over the years, I think you'll be amazed once you sit and see it in writing. So you want to go ahead, invite, highlight, follow up, induct, mentor, and repeat. It's an ongoing project that's going to be going on forever. You just have to keep doing it. And once it's gone, once you're doing it and you have a committee going, like I say, nobody needs to do it solo. Some of you might be thinking, well, isn't this the president supposed to be doing this or the secretary? Why do we have to have, this committee? Well, they have their hands full with what they're doing. And the more people we get involved, the more people we have engaged, the more we're going to grow. Now we have a Southwest District Membership Committee. Our district membership coordinator is Ed Verberg. His number's at the top here. And the assistant membership chair is Barbara Chasko, who is on our meeting right now tonight. And that is their contact. Hi, Barbara. Yep, there's Barbara right there. So everybody knows who to contact on there because you want to write down these emails for future reference towards strengthening your clubs and opening new clubs.
Give us
And
time to do that. Don't sweat to the next thing too quickly. We need to write these things down.
I'll post
Don't
that
worry,
in
it
the
takes,
chat for you
it
also.
takes me a little time to talk too. So.
Will we
But,
be able to see this after this?
Carol, it's being recorded.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But I mean, it'll be up there a while. You can write it down. But
Tony,
our membership team includes divisional membership chairs also, which means you would be on our district membership committee team, where you can join us with helping other clubs with membership. You'll learn how to bring in members, retain them, and actually you'll be able to see overall how we monitor the entire district and learn firsthand what is working in today's world. Be it polishing up your social, greeting skills, or your computer skills, we're growing. We'd appreciate you joining our committee. Knowledge is good. Shared knowledge is great. And we're going to be having another membership chair committee meeting on July 28th, 7 p.m. Arizona time, 8 p.m. New Mexico time. And it'll be led by our very own district membership team. Now, please make sure you type those names in and get those numbers because the topics that they're going to be covering on July 28th is going to be using Facebook to attract new members, creating local newspaper ads, broad member involvement, and appreciations for contributions. So throughout the year, we're going to be having a membership committee meeting once on a monthly basis. And there's going to be different topics going on each meeting. So if you once you're typed into this, you're a membership chair for your club, you can automatically be on this membership committee, and we'll get you on, for the mailing list to make sure that you get all the resources and you get, all the latest that we're doing here in the district. So we. Type your information into the chat box. We've got to make sure we have that.
Tony,
My name-
when you talk about membership, you're really meaning we. You're talking about every Kiwanian in a club is part of the membership outreach for the club and on their membership committee. So if you are the membership chair, recruiting members is not only your job, it's the job of everybody in the club.
Yes, it is. But the one thing with the membership chair committee also is to make sure that the club is ready to bring in the new members also. And you're going to want to come up with ideas, and you're going to want to do some membership, get out there and do a membership drive. And that's what the membership committee is doing also in each club. What you should be doing is setting up a membership drive, at least, try to do it at least twice a year. Quarterly is great, but you want to go ahead and set up a way, as we talked previously in the previous slides, is to get out into the community, get the community engagement, and get them to go ahead and know that your club is active and actively seeking more membership. Now, the best way to get members is not to invite them to a meeting, though, is to invite them to your service project. So, like, say right now, say if you have even something like a road cleanup. If you were doing that in the community, you would definitely want to reach out to as many people as you can to be able to be a part of that. So, or if you're going to go ahead and get into, like we did over in Buckeye and Litchfield Park, we started a community garden. We invited a ton of people to that, and also all of our SLPs. There's 10 SLPs that are involved in that. So you want to make yourself known throughout the community of what you're doing. Because if they see your service, they're going to want to be a part of it. But if you're not out there active in the community, they're not going to know you're there. So that's the one thing we want to do is continue doing our service, make sure it's out into the community, do a newsletter, let everybody know. And with social media nowadays, there's no reason why we can't go ahead and be on Facebook and constantly letting everybody know what the club is doing. They don't want to just hear our club meets at this time. They want to know what you're doing, where you're doing it, at what time, the location, so that they can actually witness it. Once they see it, it's really easy to get members. Are there any other questions? I will close this now. So let's just all have an open forum. Let's all talk and let's find out what works, what doesn't. And does every club have a membership chair? Nilda.
We have a membership chair in Carol right now, who I promised we would have a committee to work around her, but she's in name only, but yet she'll have a committee to work with.
Well, by listening to Carol tonight, I'm sure she's going to be able to do the job very well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Governor Don, do you have something to add to it all?
Well, I talked to Ed today, and Tony mentioned one thing that we did in Benson. I got with this Herald Review here in Sierra Vista. The guy hooked me up with the lady that covers Benson. She did an article for me, and then I went to the city manager, Vicki Vivian, and we did another article. So use your local newspaper to advertise what you're trying to do. We always got and I know San Pedro does this too. We always get our key clubs. I do stuff for the key clubs, or we have somebody do it from the key club, and they put the SLPs in the paper too. So that's a good way to get some visibility. Use the local newspaper.
Clint, you've been in the whatchamacallit, the formula way back then with membership. What do you have to add? You're muted.
Am I unmuted?
Can hear you now.
Okay. You mentioned a garden, and membership is like a garden. I mean, you've got to be planting seeds all the time. And I forget who brought it up. That is every member of the club part of the membership committee. Well, if they're not named as part of the membership committee, membership should be on their minds also, and it's a constant thing. I've got, some of you have seen the calendar that I made that Kiwanis likes to say that May is membership month, but I've got a calendar where every month in the year is May. So it's something that you can't let up. And a lot of the things that we've gone over tonight, you know, we've been going over for years, but unless somebody picks up the ball and runs with it, we'll be doing this again next year and saying the same thing. So maybe that's a pretty cynical view of it, but again, you just can't let up on it. You've got to continue. All of these things we've talked about tonight are really good. You need to do the surveys. You need to talk to people. You need to do exit interviews. I've only had one exit interview where I couldn't, there was nothing I could say to the guy because he said he quit because he couldn't match my enthusiasm. So I just said, oh, you know, that's fine with me. If you can't do it, then you know, go right ahead. But anyway, I am going to you know, continue doing what I've been doing. A lot of the things that we talked about tonight, I picked up years ago when I was the district chair, and so develop your own elevator talk, call it what you want. I started during, I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I started during Eliminate, when we were rolling Eliminate out. And I've used the same elevator speech for, I don't know, 11 years now, 12 years, whatever it's been. And it's very simple, and it's designed to evoke a yes or no answer. So if somebody says, what is Kiwanis? I just tell them, I'd like to tell you, but first I'm going to ask you a question. If I could show you a way to save a baby's life for $1.80, would you be willing to listen? If they say, no, I don't know how to save a baby's life, then you don't want to talk to them anyway. So that's what I use. And it's, you know, I've had it memorized for 10 years, so it's very easy for me to say that when somebody asks me a question. And with that, I'll be quiet.
Thank you very much, Glenn. Sharon.
Hi, I want to make a comment about basically advertising or letting your area know about that there is a Kiwanis Club in the area. Our Kiwanis Club of Tularosa opened January 30th, 2020. I actually live in Alamogordo. I saw this on a Facebook ad that they were starting a new club in Tularosa, and that it was a high poverty level and the children really needed a lot. And so that tugged at my heartstrings. So I went to this meeting. I didn't know until I was at that meeting in Tularosa that there were actually 2 Kiwanis clubs in Alamogordo. I never knew it. And I had lived there since 2005. So we're saying 15 years that I never even saw or knew that there was a Kiwanis club in Alamogordo. Now, it could have been that I just didn't see it. I'm active in my church. I don't go to things like the county fair. I will be this year. We're raffling off a quilt for Kiwanis. But I just want to make sure that even if you're an old club, which Alamogordo, both their clubs are old clubs. Please make sure that the word is getting out there, because there may be a lot of people like me that would have joined the Alamogordo Club long ago had I known that there was one. So that's just what I want to say.
Thank you, Sharon. Nilda.
Hey, there you go.
Yes, I just wanted to mention something. We've talked about the elevator speech and, you know, how we represent Kiwanis according to what it is to us personally and what our club is really about. I always go back in my mind first to why I joined Kiwanis and what kept me there. Because for some reason, all of us here, this is the best paid job in the world, that we think of why we stayed. There was something that has kept us there, something that you have a passion about. So in that quote, elevator speech or grocery store speech or wherever you are, that you express that passion, that you get excited, because wouldn't it be so cool if the other person who's listening is like tuned in and just like, oh, really? Tell me more. Just like BK was saying about that follow-up question. We got to get them engaged first time, right off the bat, but it has to be based on your own passion and that you can relate that so that someone can really hear what is Kiwanis in your words.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that is just a great way to do it. And I have to, and to take off on the follow up on Sharon of what she had to say. I got to admit, I ran into a club that is under charter, having a tough time bringing in new members. And I said, well, you know, what is it you do? And they said, well, we don't like to brag of what we do. And I'm thinking, well, that's your problem right there. I mean, you're actually doing yourself a disservice, your community a disservice, your club a disservice by not going out and, you know, bragging, blowing your own horn, whatever you want to call it. But you need to let people know what's going on. And that's been a big problem right now, is that we haven't embraced the social media to the point where we're hitting it to our benefit. It's out there and we need to do that. And if we go ahead and all have good Facebooks and we let everybody know, and even still the newspapers are out there, people in the rural areas still read a lot of newspapers. We got to get into all that and do our service, but we have to get exposure. And that's our biggest thing, that we need exposure. Anybody else?
I just had an idea. We could probably encourage our members that every time that they, as individuals, are planning to attend one of our events, whether it's a fundraiser or it's a project that we're doing, a service of some sort or another, if each individual member would post on their own Facebook page, hey, guess what I'm going to be doing on Saturday? I'm going to be having a great time at Sunshine Acres. Or, hey, we're going to be meeting at Buddy's restaurant, and why don't you come by and stop and see us? If we each do that on our own individual Facebook pages, then those people who are our friends or relatives or whatever, who are our Facebook friends, might look at it and say, oh, really? Maybe I'm going to try that.
I love that idea. And that's fantastic. I love it. Cookie.
Hey, thank you, Tony. Communicating and getting things out that you want to say is probably the hardest thing about all of the issues that we're addressing. I mean, we've all got great ideas, but getting them out to where we want them to end up is our toughest part. But I will say, and something that those of us here today might not know about, but the Roadrunners Club just had an application for money for 3 new members for clubs that are under charter. And getting that information to you all has been tough. But we have offered, with the money that the Roadrunners, and those are past lieutenant governors, we have offered with that money to give to clubs money for 3 new members for 1 year free membership. We would pay for that for 3 clubs for 3 members. And we only got 2 applications. It was just amazing. You know, we're offering these clubs under charter some money to bring in new members if they can't afford it. And we only got 2 applications. How do we get to you all? How do we get this wonderful information to you all to say, you know, the Roadrunners are here to help. The Roadrunners are here to, they're all past lieutenant governors. We're here to help these under charter clubs and the clubs that are having difficulties with bringing in memberships. We want to do all we can. These are past lieutenant governors who got a wealth of knowledge and past experience, and we want to help. Any ideas?
Well, I do know that it was all sent out to all the clubs, all the membership got that. And, but, you know, I think this is something that if the Roadrunners, which I thank very much for doing this is fantastic. But if we're going to reach out with more clubs, I think this is something that I've already taken a note, what you just said. We're going to have to get our lieutenant governors more involved, and they're going to have to make sure that every single club in their division has this information, because I'm like you. I can't believe some of the great things and the resources that we have, they're still not getting, they're not getting looked at. They're getting disseminated, but they're still not being acted on.
Yeah. Can I bring in one more point? Our Corrales Club, since we've met virtually now for over a year and a half, we're still paying for our breakfast. And that money goes to a fund that will help any member that can't afford their dues. And it's private and it's personal, but we're still paying for meeting fees. And that all goes into a private fund that is just for granting money to people who can't afford it. And no one knows who's getting the money and no one really cares. But it was started a year ago, and I think it's accrued, you know, about $1,000, and that's money that we help out where we can.
Tony?
Yes.
A question. And Cookie, my suggestion on that, and this goes for the same thing, as lieutenant governors, we have received that information from KI when there's a potential new member that might be interested in your area. Please do not follow that script that KI gives you. Love KI. They've got a lot of great resources. Pick up the phone and call these people. And Cookie, that might be the same thing. Maybe it's a matter of getting people willing to pick up the phone. We as lieutenant governors know who's under charter strength, and calling directly to those people and saying, we're going to come in there. We can help you. We can, you know, build you back up. And here's an opportunity for you to get fees for 3 new people.
Now, Lynn, did you receive anything from the Roadrunners Club? I'm not sure I have the current list of Roadrunners. I know Ken does, but I don't. I'm only having the past lieutenant governor's list. I don't have current people.
Okay, I was a past lieutenant governor, and I did take over again for Division 18.
Thank you.
But honestly, I have to say, Cookie, and I apologize, I get a million emails like the rest of us. I honestly don't remember seeing it. But that's a great point, but maybe actually picking up a phone and getting a hold of these people directly. It just takes a few minutes. We've added, and in regards to new members, we've added several new members this year. Our club has grown incredibly because people made personal one-on-one contacts. I mean, I pick up the phone, I talk to people, I say, let's go get a cup of coffee, let's go have a drink, let's go, I'll buy you food, whatever, let's just sit and talk. And first and foremost, I find out about them. I don't start the spiel with, I want you to join, here's how much it costs and all that. I want to find out if they're going to be a good match. And I want to know that they're going to like our club. And it's worked very well, very well.
Good point. Yeah. Thank you, Lynn.
Sure, you're welcome.
So Tony, Governor-elect Tony, one thing, I want to go back to member orientations really quick and how important those are to make a new person coming in feel super important. And one thing, a member of ours, which God bless her soul, she passed a few years ago, but she started this tradition in our club where we had the objects of Kiwanis printed out on a piece of paper and we handed them out. And so when this member was inducted into the club, 6 different people, we always used to try past presidents, would read the 6 objects of Kiwanis to them, right? And then we give them their pin. And that just kind of really made people feel super special. I just wanted to throw that out there. Just make that installation, that induction, super special to the new member.
It is important, but it's not important unless we make it important. So that's what we have to do. We have to start building a tradition. Now, these traditions may have been years ago that we followed them, and then we may have lost them. But I mean, we need to bring up something, like that there, make them feel important. But I have to tell you, this has, we're coming out of the pandemic. We started this year, Governor Don had to start his year right smack in the middle of it, just like past Governor Harry had to deal with it. Yeah, but we're coming out of it. But what Governor Don's done is he's persevered and we kept working at it. Do you know right now we're 41 members for the district in the plus. So we're in the plus right now. We have 3 clubs that we're working on to be able to open. Now, if we get those, and one is for sure, pretty much, we're 99% sure is going to be open within the next month. We have another one going that, is right behind it. And we have another club behind that. Now, if we can open all those, we can end up with about 80, 90 plus members. So if we want to go ahead and be in the plus, that would put us in the plus at about 5%, just about, of membership growth. That would be fantastic. That would be record breaking. And it's within our grasp. I mean, we're there. Even though the pandemic was here, we're climbing out of this very well because we've planned this. We've all working together. We're teaming up. We've got committees going. So if we can keep that back door closed, I mean, we're going to be in the plus this year. And that's the whole idea, is to find out what's making your club tick and what's not working. And then, filling in the gaps, make sure we fix everything. And that way we keep that back door closed. Because if we can keep going with the momentum we got right now, we could close with a plus, 5%, membership. So it's not doom and gloom. It's working. But forgive me, I can't remember who said it. We just got to keep doing it. I think it was Clint. Just keep on doing it. It's repetition, repeat. And it's something that if we all do as a committee, it doesn't put the burden on one person. So we don't burn anybody out. If we do it together, we'll have fun doing it. Anybody else got something to bring into the forefront?
Looks like BK has his hand raised.
I will
BK.
add something totally unrelated. The cutoff for the international training session ended back in May, and they will not allow anybody to register at this point for the virtual. Well, I made a call this morning to Kiwanis International, and I said, I need to really register. What do I do? And they told me they created a new website, and I wanted to share that. It's Kiwanis.org, not Kiwanis1.org. And if you go there, right on the top is a button to join the new training in Salt Lake City, and it will take place starting next Thursday and run Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's $39 and you can sign up. But they have told you it's closed, it's over with, or you can't get in. That's not true. And I just signed up today.
Well, that's great news. And it's still $39 that you just said. So, I mean, you get your best bang for your buck to be able to do that. I mean, it's very affordable for anybody, because I'm doing it virtually myself also. But I do know we have some people going. Who's all going to the Icon this year? Well, we'll have a good showing of some positive members, that's for sure, with Governor Don leading the way. Is there anything else? Well, we know your time is precious, and we've really been working hard as a team to make sure that these meetings last less than 2 hours. And we have done that every single night. We've covered as much as we can, and we appreciate everybody attending, and we are all cognizant of your time. So with that said, and if we have no more questions, I look forward to seeing anybody tomorrow that is like the last chance of going on. But you can go ahead. If you couldn't meet on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday to see what was going on, here's an opportunity to go through the breakout rooms tomorrow. We're going to have it open for 2 hours, and then you can go on. If I'm not mistaken, Ken, can you get on to multiple breakout rooms? Can you move from one to another?
Yes, you can move from one to another. Betsy actually just raised her hand real quick, just to give you a heads up.
I was just clapping. Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, classes will begin tomorrow, 9 a.m. Arizona, 10 a.m. New Mexico. All the breakout rooms will be open. They will all be the live instructors. You are more than welcome to come into whichever classroom suits you best. And once you think you've received whatever you need to get from that, you can jump into another classroom, and then we will close them down at 11 Arizona, 12 o'clock New Mexico. So same plan, 2 hours. Your time's valuable.
I have
So
one more. I'm sorry, I
Go ahead,
have one
Carol.
more question. Will all of us who are the membership chair people be receiving an email about when, or some kind of notification about when the district membership meetings will happen?
Yes, we will make sure that you are notified, so
Thank
that
you.
you'll be put on our email list, so that you'll be on to the monthly membership meetings that Ed and Barbara will be conducting every month. You know, we're not going to do it for June because of so much stuff going on with ICON, but it's going to be rolling again in July.
Great,
and
thank
going
you.
on forward. Well, with that said, I wish everybody a great Friday night. Thank you very much for joining, and look forward to seeing you more tomorrow, and look forward to seeing you throughout the next years ahead. So thank you for all you do. I appreciate it. Good night.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Governor Dunn.
Great
Thanks,
one.
everybody.
Bye, Lori.